Greetings and welcome to Sunlight Refuge, where the name of the game is motivation, inspiration, and growth. Hi everyone, my name is Tracy, and if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So, in today's message, we're going to be talking about moving on. So, today I'll share some tips and signs if you find yourself on the journey of moving on. Because within moving on, there can be a lot of uncertainty, there can be a lot of fear. You don't know what the next step holds for you. But take a deep breath, it's going to be all right. Okay? So just diving right in, how do you know that moving on is the right step for you, right? It's the right way for you to go. You got to talk to God. You got to talk to God. God has a way of speaking to you and guiding you throughout your journey. I know it's easy to talk to friends and family, or even just yourself if you like to just handle things by yourself. But first and foremost, you got to ask God for direction. And the creator, he'll send signs, you know. He'll send that energy that you need, that push that you need, that clarification that you need, that this is the way to go, right? So there are many different ways that this can play out in your life. A few ways that I have seen this play out in my life is when why you got together no longer exists, right? When you first met and you decided to take that step into a relationship, it could have been just a long-term relationship, it could be a marriage, it can be whatever it looks like for you. But someone significant, that relationship is significant, right? You had reasons why this person was the person for you to step into that relationship with. Sometimes it's because they have a generous heart, you know. Sometimes they have that personality that matches with yours. Whatever those reasons are, we all have our own reasons why we decide to put our time and effort and energy into a person and a relationship, and how that blossoms throughout a course of time, right? But when somebody asks you, why you with her? What you love about her? They always ask you those questions. What you love about him? You usually have multiple reasons why you chose that person, why you care about that person, why you want to be with that person. But somewhere along the lines, that changed, right? And sometimes you can get it back. You can do whatever steps that you all need to take, because that's different for everybody, right? Some people always say counseling, some people say time apart, some people say, it's just whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong to, genuine connections and relationships, right? You got to do what works for you. But when you find yourself in that space where, it's just not working, you know what I mean? Like the peace isn't there. I tell you, peace is so important. It's a non-negotiable. It should be a non-negotiable. Nobody should be taking away your peace. You shouldn't be taking away someone's peace. And if you find yourself in that scenario, then it's time to check yourself. It's time for that to be checked. You know what I mean? So think about the whys. The why I got with this person. The why I wanted this relationship. The why. Do it 5 times. Why? 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 Usually you'll be able to get down to the root cause, right? The real reason. You're cutting down to the core of things. Because when you're moving on, you don't want that to be. And I'm not talking to those people who break up every 2 weeks, and you know what I'm saying, or this is like some real. I'm about to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm just for those people who are really in that step of I gotta move on. And there's nothing wrong with moving on if that's where your heart finds its peace at. See, when God tells you that this is the way, you're going to have that peace in your heart. Yeah, you're going to have that uncertainty. Yeah, you're going to have, all of these things that's going to be new for you. This is new now, right? You're ending and now you're starting anew. But just like in a book, you may end that book, but then the next book will be even better. Now you got the information from this book, and now you're taking it to another level with the next book. So it doesn't always have to be, so scary to the point where you're not moving forward, right? But when you talk to God, He will put it in your spirit. And that's where you get your leg to stand on. Because sometimes you have people around you who's just like, I can't believe you da 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 da. Like they have feelings towards your relationship. That's not they. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but they're not living that. You are. So you got to do what's best for you in that scenario. You can't just be with somebody because somebody wants you to be with them. You can't just be with somebody because y'all been together for a long time. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Not to say that you can't fight for, but that's what I'm saying. You got to have your standards. You know what I'm saying? Just because I said, yes, I'll be committed with you doesn't mean I'm just going to be, your punching bag, or, you know what I'm saying? Get less than what you deserve, or whatever the scenario may be. Fill in the blank, right? No. Because you deserve your happiness, you deserve your peace, and sometimes that peace isn't with the person that you started off with. So, first and foremost, talk to God. When you feel like the reason why you got together no longer exists, talk to God and ask for guidance. Right? This isn't a rash decision. This isn't just something that you just wake up like, I'm gonna break up with you today. Like, like it doesn't usually just happen like that. But you know what I'm saying? It's something that you felt it, and then you decide, okay, now's the time, right? So then you get your confirmation, and God says He leads you on that path, and you feel it in your spirit, right? You feel it deep down that says, yeah, it's time. It's time. And and sometimes you may not know it, sometimes you may try to ignore it, whatever the scenario is, but in your heart of hearts, it won't be anything that you just don't know, right? Like it won't be, well, I don't know. You won't be indecisive. It won't be, well, maybe, well, I don't know, well, maybe. No, it'll be clear. It'll be very clear. And that's the beautiful thing about it though. Like, I know new is sometimes scary, but sometimes you gotta run towards that scary, right? You gotta run towards that unknown, right? Especially if you are being led by the creator. Get this, you're the creator, the universe conspires for you, right? Remember, you have your song. Send your song out. Tap in with the universe and you'll get that download. You'll get that message. It's not going to be easy. Maybe it is. I don't know. Everybody deals with things their own way, you know? But one thing I will say is it's going to be clear. The message is going to be clear. And then the scary won't seem so scary. It'll be more of what's to come. What's the next step? What's the next chapter? And then you'll find yourself being like, excited about it. Not scared, but more excited about it. So you have to talk to God and allow that spirit and that message, right? To receive that message. And it'll do wonders for you. It'll help you on your journey, right? Because that's what it's all about, living our best lives. And sometimes who you start with doesn't necessarily have to be who you end with, right? Peace and love and, just living life to the fullest. I don't know how many lives we have, but all I know is that we're living this one. So try your best to make the best of this one, right? It's just it's just life, and it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Like, that's my biggest thing. I hate how, well, I won't say hate, but it's really annoying, and it's really sad, and just all these different adjectives, right? But it's just, when people break up, it doesn't mean it has to be a war, right? Because if you think about it, like, okay, you and I were great for a time. That time ended. Now it's off to do something else, right? Something that will fill my spirit. So in order for you to fill your spirit, we had to let this one go. So where is the animosity in that? Where's the war in that? We had our time. Now it's time to go do something else that will fulfill your spirit. So endings don't have to be mean, or, it doesn't have to be all that negativity behind it. It just means that it's on to the next chapter. Not every book has the same chapter, even when you have a series book, right? Sometimes don't they introduce new chapters? Don't some people die off? But isn't a book still good? Right? So it's like, that's real life right there. So it'll come to you in your spirit. And when you leave, life actually gets better. Right? It actually gets better. Sure, you may have some transitional time, right? But ultimately, you'll see that the creator is still pouring down favor on you and still getting you through your next chapter, right? Now, all of the whys on why you left, they're gone. Now it's the new. Now you feel that peace. Now you get your, your happiness. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like the phoenix. Like you burning off all this old residue and stuff, and you becoming anew, bigger, better, stronger, happier. All of the reasons why we chose to be here, all the reasons why we are here. Outside of, life, just life, and you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be living life to the best of your ability and receiving those favors because your karmic cycle is good. You're sending out good and you're receiving back good, right? Because it's a right and a wrong way to love somebody. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you decide that this is no longer, you don't have to dog them. You don't have to abuse them, right? You don't have to treat them like trash. You don't have to talk down on their name because that's what you're sending out. And eventually it's going to come back around. You know what I'm saying? And make your enemy your footstool. My mom always say when you dig a ditch, you dig two. Meaning you trying to dog somebody else out, you gonna get dogged out. Watch. That's why I personally, I'm just not that type of person. It's just like, if I'm good, I'm just gonna wash my hands of it, put you in a clean spot, and keep it moving. Like, that's it. And I never really understood why that's not the same for everybody else, or the vast majority, I suppose. It just seems like it's a waste, right? When you got to talk about somebody and dog somebody out, it's just like you lack accountability. Like, it's just not you. You are you dogging somebody out, but you don't even like acknowledge that and try to work on that or even apologize for that. You just acting like yo don't stink, right? Like, that's crazy. But it happens. But that's not your problem. Don't make that your problem. That's their problem. You just know how to exit stage left on your own, right? The godly way. So when I move on to my next life, I'm going to get that favor. I'm going to get that good karmic cycle, right? Because I'm sending out good vibrations and I'm bringing in good vibrations. So when you see that your life is flourishing, right? It's oftentimes like that where you recognize, like, yeah, I made the right decision. And thank you, God, for helping me across that bridge. Whatever that looks like, sometimes God would just send you people in your life to give you a message, to help you realize, oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this to the next step. you know so that's why I'm always like very welcoming in scenarios like that, because you just never know. Like, the universe contacts us and bring us information in all different ways. Sometimes it's through people, sometimes it's through music, sometimes it's through thoughts, messages, video. It's just whatever, flickering of the lights. You know what I'm saying? Just weird stuff. Not weird, but just out of the ordinary. So be open to that. That's the biggest thing, too. It's like when you're tapping into something else, be open to all ways that the universe is like trying to dreams, everything, right? You got to be open to that because it's not always going to be just here is what you should do. You should, like, it's not always like that. And it's funny because I always tell my children when they're reading their reading comprehension type passages, it's like when they ask you the question isn't always, or the answer isn't always going to be the answer is. Sometimes you got to read that paragraph and you got to put it into your own words, because it's not, just A, B, C, D. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just written a different way and you got to put it into your own words. Same thing, right? It's going to come to you in all different kind of ways. You just have to be able to recognize it, right? So, yeah. So, okay. So then sometimes when you, okay, so let me back up. This is what I believe and what I have seen when people go the negative route when splitting up. You don't get that favor. And then sometimes you see them in the future and it shows. Sometimes people just get down and out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people never really elevate. Sometimes people, they was riding high, just like it goes high, it got to come down at some point. That's why you don't want to sow negative seeds out there, because when you come down, what goes up must come down. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It doesn't have to mean you down and out. It just means, it comes in waves. Happiness comes in waves, right? So that's another sign that when you see those people, they don't be right. They don't be at that level that they were when they were with you. And then it's like, whew, I dodged a bullet right there, boy. Cause that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been both of us out there looking crazy. You know what I mean? Or they could have had me so down and depressed where I wasn't even, operating it to my highest ability. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to, one, you got to say thank you, right? Because that could have been me. You know what I'm saying? I could have let somebody break me down to the point where I was down bad, or I didn't want to get up, or I didn't want to move forward. But I heard you, and I, I, I stepped up. You know what I'm saying? Put my big girl drawers on, put my big man drawers on. You know what I'm saying? And I continue to life. You know, and be my best self. And sometimes when you see them and they're not doing that great, it's not for you to just, you know what I'm saying, it's not for you to just start dogging them out and, yeah, it's not even that. Life got them on that. That's not your job. But it's not your job to get them right. They got to get themselves right. Because I'm more than sure that when y'all was together, you was trying to get them right, but they just didn't see it, or they thought they had it on their own, whatever the scenario may be, right? So you want to have those, send out that good energy so you can receive good energy, right? We got to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. You know what I'm saying? The more simplified that we can live our lives, I think it's the better way to go. It's the happier, peaceful way to go, right? So, if you found yourself in that scenario where you're moving on, you decided that I'm moving on, I'm grooving on, right? Then what do you do? What do I do? Now I'm over here kicking it by myself. What do I do? Right? You get to know you. You get to know you. You fall in love with you. All the things that you love about yourself. What do you like to do? You like to go out to the beach? You like to read books? You like to do this? You like to do it? What do you like to do? Get to know yourself. Don't one thing you do not do, you do not get out of one relationship and jump to another, especially when you got stuff behind you. For whatever reason, you got stuff behind you. Take care of that stuff before you get into a new one. Or if you just be honest with people, because everybody has feelings, right? Nobody wants to be your rebound. You know what I'm saying? And we just don't want to cause people hurt. You don't want to cause people hurt. So take your time. Take your time and get to know you. Get to know who you are. What do you like to do? What are them things that you don't like? What are you aspiring to be? Like, fall in love with you. That's when you start to set your standards. Okay, this is what I've learned from all this past stuff, taking what resonate, throwing out what don't, you know what I'm saying? Helping you to become a better person, right? So you just stay on that. It's not time to jump into a new relationship because you still got to get that all off. That's where you got to get this, got to get it off of you, right? So take the time to get to know you, fall in love with you, reestablish your boundaries, your standards. You know what I'm saying? If you have children, just be about your children, right? Learn to live life as an individual, and just take your time. Just take your time. And within you taking your time, it's for you to prepare yourself for your new life, right? Now I'm stepping into a new, now I'm a new person. I've shed that old, you know, outdated part of it, like, snakes shed their skin and things like that. Like, you just outgrowing, you know what I'm saying? In a sense, you just outgrowing that old way and just stepping into the new, the new you, the improved you, the 2.5, the 5.0, the whatever, the reloaded, whatever title that you put on yourself. But you're preparing for your new life. What does that look like? Do you journal? Do you write it down? Do you have a vision board? Like, what's your steps on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you, okay, so now you got another opportunity to do something with your life. What are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do that's going to help humanity? Like, what are you going to do? So it's all just the new creative, side of life where, you just have all of your energy, and you have all of your thoughts and your ideas, and you just create, right? You just create and prepare for a new, and within that it's falling in love with you and learning the lessons that that life has taught you, right? There's no wrong and right. I just feel like life is just one big plethora of lessons, right? Learn the lessons. I told you once before where it's like, for me, I always want everybody to be happy, so I always try to, I'm first to, like, how are we gonna fix this? What do you want to do? How you want to do it? And I had to learn to know, stop. Sometimes people don't need that from you, and that's not always your job. You can just be that listening ear. Sometimes just that listening ear is all a person needs to take themselves to the next step. You know what I mean? So take the lessons that life has given you. It makes your skin a little, a little thicker. And then you pass the knowledge on, right? So that's it. That's the message for today. And see, I'm smiling. I'm smiling at the end of the message because it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Moving on does not have to be negative. Moving on just means we're done with this lesson. It's time for the next chapter, right? So I hope this information resonated with you. If it does, keep on shining, keep on growing, keep on motivating people, inspiring yourself, and just do the best you can and then do a little bit more. Okay? So, till the next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.